Welcome to a lesson on finding popular sources in library databases. This lesson is broken down into two parts: understanding popular sources and using a library database to find them. At the end of this presentation, viewers should be able to define what a popular source is, identify popular source articles in a database, and use ProQuest to search for magazine and newspaper articles. Part 1. Understanding popular sources. If you are asked to write a research paper for a college course, you may be told to use some combination of scholarly and popular sources. Today we're talking specifically about popular sources. These are sources that you likely already encounter on a regular basis and have probably used before. Let's start with defining the term source. The word refers to information in any form or medium that you consult and draw from when investigating a topic and formulating your thoughts on the matter. A source could be a person, like a professor, or maybe somebody who witnessed or experienced a particular event. A source could come in written format, whether on paper or digital. A source could also come in audio or video format, or it could be a visual, like an image posted on Instagram. So what makes a source popular? A popular source is one written for the general public. It is usually easy to understand, no advanced knowledge required. Popular sources are usually, though not always, written by journalists or other non-experts on a given topic. They are occasionally written by scholars or experts hoping to reach a broader audience. That is what makes it popular, that it is for the general public and written by someone without advanced expertise on the subject. It has nothing to do with popularity, the number of people who read it, or how many likes it gets. What else should we understand about popular sources? So what format do they come in? They can be magazine articles, newspaper articles, websites. Some books are popular, most audio and video content, and social media posts. Are popular sources considered to be reliable? The short answer is yes, some are, but some are not. Popular sources may be published by people and organizations who have earned reputation for quality, responsible, reliable reporting, but some popular sources are also published by people with or organizations with an agenda to influence, to bias, or an intent to sell, just to get readers to click, to exploit, or to misinform in some way. Though popular sources come in other formats, for the purposes of this presentation, we are focusing on articles published in magazines and newspapers. This graphic represents the sliding scale of reliability among different types of periodicals. At the left is scholarly journals, the most credible in academic circles, followed by substantive, or general interest or trade/professional magazines, and then popular magazines and newspapers. And lastly, at the far right, the sensationalist tabloid type of source that is primarily fictional and to be avoided. We are focused on the two categories in the middle. Substantive news articles appear in publications like the New York Times, The Economist, Scientific American, The Atlantic, Discover, Forbes, Psychology Today, and Women's Wear Daily, among many others. These articles are in-depth, often reference other sources, and are just a step below scholarly journal articles. Popular magazine articles and newspaper articles are often a bit shorter, less analytical, presenting the facts as they are known on a given day. So why use popular sources in your writing? Though popular sources don't carry the same weight or authority as scholarly journal articles, they are often useful for background information to help you gain knowledge and understanding of your topic. They may also serve as helpful examples or evidence to help you illustrate a point. Perhaps they include statistics that back up an argument that you're making. Many materials that fall into the category of popular sources are written and published very quickly after an event occurs. Think social media, newspapers, and magazine articles. All of these can show popular sentiment, opinions, and reactions to a particular event. If your research topic is something that has happened within the past year or two, you will not find many scholarly journal articles or books have been published on the topic yet, and you will find popular sources to be very helpful. Popular sources can also provide you with an argument to analyze or respond to. Let's move on now to part 2, using a library database to find popular sources. Library databases contain magazines and newspapers, as well as scholarly journals. One of the best databases to use to find them is ProQuest. ProQuest is the name of a major information vendor, and we subscribe to several databases that are cross-searchable on one search interface. To get there, start from libguides.centenaryuniversity.edu. On the top navigation menu, click on Search to open the drop-down menu, and then click Databases. You should arrive at our A to Z databases page. Scroll down to ProQuest or click on the letter P to jump down the page, and then click ProQuest. For this search demonstration, we will use the Advanced Search screen within ProQuest. It's recommended to use Advanced Search so that you can more easily separate your search concepts into individual lines or boxes. This can be helpful if you employ the synonym strategy from the Brainstorming Search Terms video lesson. The topic that we will explore is the following. Global warming is causing migrating birds to change their habits. Let's start by typing global warming into the first box. Use quotation marks around the two terms to indicate a phrase. Add any synonyms that you have come up with. In this case, let's add climate change. Again, using the quotations to designate it as a phrase. Moving down to the second box, let's type in bird migration patterns. Notice that you have an option to add additional rows if you have more than 2 search concepts. By default, the full text limiter is checked. This means that the search will only return results for which the entire article, the full text, is immediately available. Let's run the search. Looking at the results screen, notice we have 5,622 results. Since our goal is to find popular sources like magazines and newspapers, let's take a look at the left column where the limiters are, and particularly the source type limiter. We can see scholarly journals, books, dissertations and theses, newspapers, historical newspapers. Since for right now we're not really interested in the first 3, let's click More to see all of the source types available from our search. It gives you the option to include or exclude any or all of those source types. Let's include newspapers, magazines, and trade journals. Click Apply. We're now looking at 586 results. Depending on your search topic and how recently or historically you want to look at that topic, you may want to limit by publication date as well. Let's look at the last 5 years. As you look through your results, notice the icon or the image that appears next to each article, indicating the source type. Each of these is a newspaper article. Scrolling further, we see that this is a magazine article. Another feature to be aware of is the abstract/details page, sometimes just appearing as a details page. This page provides all of the bibliographic information or metadata about the article that you're looking at, all of the things you need for your citation. It gives you the author's name, the publisher, the name of the publication, the year, the date, and the place of publication. Scrolling down, it also tells you the source type, newspapers, as we saw on the indicator. It'll indicate as well the document type, in this case, commentary. So rather than it being a purely factual article, it is something of an opinion piece. To see the actual full text, click over onto that tab. Notice that your search terms are highlighted. This is a fairly brief article. It's part of something called search term navigation, so if it was a longer article, this might be more helpful to jump from one instance of your search terms to the next. Another feature is to listen to a recording of the article, if you'd like. Moving back to the search results page, if you are not satisfied with what you initially find, remember that research is a process of trial and error. There will be lots of errors. It may take experimenting to land upon the most effective search string, combined with appropriate limiters to get the best results. Always try different combinations of search terms, and always feel free to consult a librarian for additional advice on search strategies. We talked a bit about the indicators that the database has to help you determine the source type, as well as the details page. Other common characteristics to help you recognize popular source articles are the presence of colorful images or design elements and the presence of advertising. Popular sources often do not cite many, if any, sources. Another indicator that an article is a newspaper article is if the publication title includes a city or location name. Sometimes you may recognize the publication title and you know it to be a reliable source, but there are so many publications it's impossible to be familiar with all of them. It's recommended to learn a bit more about a publication in order to evaluate its credibility. So check the details page in the database to find the publisher name. Do some quick searches, either for the title or the publisher, to see how it is described on the internet. If you're looking specifically for newspapers, another path to get there is to use the A to Z databases page. Use the filter type under all database types to select news and newspapers. This will filter down the databases listed to only show those that will lead you to newspapers. If you are looking for the New York Times, the Washington Post, or the Wall Street Journal, or some other common major papers, then you will find those in this list here as well. So now it's your turn. Using the ProQuest database, search for your topic using the limiters for magazines and newspapers, and identify a popular source article that is relevant for your topic. Remember that research is a process of trial and error. If you have any questions or concerns, please always feel free to reach out to a librarian at TML.